Hey guys, good morning or afternoon or whenever you're watching this. Thanks for clicking on this video. As you saw by the title, I'm going to be showing you guys my feeding tube routine during the day, how I take care of my tube, what I eat during the day. Spoiler alert, I also do eat orally still, so I'll explain that a little bit later when the time comes of why I eat through my mouth while I also have a feeding tube. So if you're not subscribed to my channel and haven't seen my other videos, I have a feeding tube for gastrointestinal symptoms. I get a lot of stomach pain and other GI issues when I eat. And so the cause for the symptoms is still unknown. I don't have a diagnosis for that part of it. But I have the feeding tube to help me eat and get all the nutrition that I need to. And it really helps my energy as well. When I'm eating normal oral food throughout the whole day, it's very exhausting for me. My body just doesn't process it the way that it should, and so it causes pain and energy loss. And so yeah, I'm going to show you guys my feeding tube routine. So I run feeds right now for about 22-ish hours a day. So I run them through the night and then I get a couple hours of a break during the day, which is nice. So it's the morning for me right now, so I just finished, or I'm about to finish my night bag that I did, and I need to set up my new bag for the day. So I'll show you guys how I do that. Okay, so because it's a new day, I need a new bag. It's advised not to use one for more than 24 hours because stuff can just sit in there and never get out, and that's not good for any kind of food that you ingest. So this is, oh, let me turn the pump off first. This is the old bag, pretty much empty from last night. There's like maybe another extra 20 minutes of feeding, so I'm just gonna go and toss that. And it's important to flush tubes several times a day with some water. Depending on what kind of formula people use, it can get pretty thick in there, and the inside of the tube can get coated and over time get clogged, which is not a good thing to experience. So I typically do about a 40 milliliter flush in the mornings when I'm doing my new bag for the day. And I flush at a slightly slow rate. For me, if I flush it too quickly with water, I get nauseous and dizzy. So I just keep it nice and slow. And there we go. New bag. And then I use 4 of these cartons a day. These are the Kate Farms vanilla for all of my other tube friends on here. So I use 4 a day. So I actually do 1 1/3 of a carton per bag, just so I only have to fill up the bags 3 times a day instead of 4. Just makes it a little bit easier. One. And just a third of this one, roughly. It's about a third. And then the rest, I fill the bag all the way up with water. And that's for several reasons. 1, to keep the liquid thin, so there's a lower risk of a clog. And 2, it's just good to get extra water through my tube during the day, so that helps with that. And then mix up a little bit. From the tubing. If you want to see more details about setting up the bag, I think I did a video on that like pretty early on. I'll try to link it in this video so you can see. I won't go into too much detail today, but that's basically it for setting up my bag. One other thing I do in the mornings is I clean off my tube and I put a little cream around it. Something common with tubes that you can get is granulation tissue, and that's basically just raw tissue that forms around the tube. It's quite painful, so you obviously want to try to get rid of it. which is also difficult to do. So I've got this long Q-tip basically, and then I use what's called Granulotion. This is the best thing that I've tried for me. It burns when you put it on, but it definitely helps with the granulation tissue, so there's less pain later, which is always good. Alright, so here's the tube. I won't show you anything close and personal, but take one of the Q-tips and kind of wipe it off. And take another Q-tip for the granulation. I don't want to get too much on there because if it gets on your skin, your actual skin too much, it can burn even worse. So you just want to try to get it on the tissue. There we go. And just very carefully go around and dab it on. And then after that, I put a new little pad around it. It's good to keep the tube as dry as possible so gunk doesn't accumulate. I forgot to put one on last night, so that's why it's a little bit messier this morning. So that keeps it from getting too gross. And there we go. And then, when I'm ready, I still need to prime the rest of the tubing. But when I'm ready, I attach the end of the bag I just made to the end of my tube. And then there we go. So it is just now 10 o'clock, so this bag that I just made will last me about 6 hours. And then after that, I'll do one more bag that will last about 6 hours. So it'll be 4, which would take me to 10, and I go to bed around 11:30, so sometime during the day I usually give myself like an hour to an hour and a half break. Sometimes when I want to play with Sassy or do something more up and around the house so I don't have to carry my bag with me. So yeah, that's it for the morning part of the day, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Okay, so just checking in again. I've been awake for roughly 2.5 hours, and around this time usually my stomach starts to get a little bit hungry. So this is one of the most annoying things about feeding tubes, in my opinion, is especially because you typically feed at such a slow rate through your GI system, digestive tract. Your stomach will have like almost a false sense of hunger. And when that does happen, your stomach will actually try to suck in the feeding tube because it sees it as something in the stomach to try to digest. And so when it happens, the tube will kind of suck in very slowly for like 5 to 10 seconds, and then it'll pop out. But when it's sucking in, it can get really painful, especially when you have the granulation tissue, and it doesn't go away unless you put something in your stomach. For some people, they can just drink like a protein shake or some water, and that will ease the sucking, popping sensation. But for me, my stomach will not stop with just liquid, so I actually have to eat a little bit of food to make it stop. And so that's what's happening right now. It's in the mild stages of popping, and kind of the longer you let it go on, the stronger it becomes. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and grab a snack to alleviate that. Usually my preferred snack of choice in the morning is like some chips and guac or hummus or something, but we're running low on chips because I eat them a lot and we need to go to the grocery store. So I'm just gonna eat some granola. I've got oats and honey and then cinnamon oat. So this will be my mid-morning snack, and feeds are still running in this bag and everything's good. Oh, also, today just so happens to be supply delivery day. So this is all of my formula and supplies for the next month. So I have that to look forward to unpacking later today. So this is editing Caitlin from the future. Hi. I just realized that the afternoon clip from the bag refill went missing. I maybe accidentally deleted it, I'm not sure. But I did do a bag refill around 4:30 in the afternoon, and that's also when I took my little break for the day, or at least a portion of my break. And yeah, that's really the only thing you missed out of my schedule, and the rest will continue now. Alright, we made it to the end of another long day in quarantine. It is just past 11, so I'm going to go ahead and do my nighttime routine, which is pretty much the same thing that I showed you this morning. I need to do a refresh of the tube site and then a refresh on the bag. So, got good use out of this one, so just got a little, some goo that it dried up for me. Keep it off my clothes and my skin. Take one Q-tip to clean up the edges again, even though I had a pad on it today. It's good to keep it nice and clean. It's pretty sore right now. And then use the granulation stuff, same thing as this morning. It's good to do it at least twice a day, if not more, but typically 2 is about all I can handle with the burning sensation afterwards. It'll typically last for like a good 15 minutes, which makes it difficult to move around. Some on the top. Thankfully I have the tissue only on 3 sides. It's not growing on the bottom right now, so that's good. And this is all trash. So from this morning, I've done 2 2/3 of my 4 cartons for the day. So this will be full carton number 3. And then the last of the 4th carton that I've been splitting up. And the rest with water. Oh, a little bit more. There we go. And that'll be it for the day. Usually right before bed, I actually kind of prepare my stomach to get me through the night a little bit longer. Sometimes if I don't eat or drink something right before bed, I'll wake up during the middle of the night with my tube popping, and I'll have to get up out of bed and get something to eat or drink. So I try to pre-game with a little shake, and I also keep a granola bar by my bed at night in case I need it. And then lastly, I do one last flush before bed. And that's about it for my day. So 4 cartons of feed during the day, about 22 hours of the day. I ate 2 snacks during the day to alleviate my popping. And depending on how the night goes, might eat a granola bar during the night. And that's been my day. And that's my routine with my lovely tube. Okay, thanks for joining me on this day. And if you have any questions, comment down below and hopefully we can help you answer them. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.